This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, federal government to set up committee for TUC's demands over petrol subsidy removal. NLC boycotts meeting as union insists on strike this week. President Tinubu to meet opposition lawmakers elect. Police arrest suspect as gunmen abduct another man in Emoha, Rivers State. Emoha Council boss doubles bounty on wanted suspect. Restricts motorcycle operations following fresh abduction. Stakeholders seek to beat plastic pollution as world marks Environment Day. On the foreign scene, oil prices rise as Saudi Arabia pledges output cuts. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifeimi Andrew. The federal government says it will consider the list of demands from the Trade Union Congress, which includes an increase in minimum wage. Speaking to State House correspondents after a meeting between the federal government and the TUC, which lasted for about 3 hours, the spokesperson for the federal government, Eli Alake, said they will reconvene on Tuesday to further their deliberations.
Of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us the leeway to consult very exhaustively, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us. So government is looking at that, and Mr. President is most likely going to constitute a tripartite committee.
Leader of the TUC delegation, Festus Osifo, said the meeting afforded the Trade Union Congress opportunity to present a list of demands which was not available during last Wednesday's meeting.
We have detailed and marshaled out the list of our demands to them. They also in turn told us that when they presented the items to us on Wednesday, we told them that we're going back to our principal. That they also need to touch base with Mr. President so that we will convey this meeting again on Tuesday. And topmost in our demand was clearly stated as well that for utmost good faith and in the interest of social dialogue, that they should revert back the pump price while discussion continues.
Asked why the NLC boycotted Sunday's meeting, Mr. Osifo, who led 7 TUC members to the meeting, said the leadership of any union or organ is bound by the decision of the organ. Recall that last Wednesday's meeting was deadlocked as the NLC insists on the reversal of the increase in petrol pump price. Meanwhile, the NLC President Joe Ajaero says the NLC stands united on strike as it has issued strike directives to its members. In an Arise TV interview last night, he said the reports of division within the NLC are baseless.
We have 36 state councils of the NLC. We have 54 affiliate unions that met on Friday. No dissenting voice. And we took a decision on this action. And every union has issued strike directives to their members. And the strike is on. For the newspapers that are saying there is a division, let them say where the division is having. The NLC does not operate a northern branch, eastern branch, western branch. So where is the discordant voice coming from? Let them wait till Wednesday for them to know.
In the meantime, the National Union of Electricity Employees, NUE, has announced plans to join the proposed nationwide strike scheduled for Wednesday. Acting General Secretary of the body, Dominic Igwe-Bike, said the leaders of the body at national and state levels should start mobilizing ahead of the strike. Away from that, as the National Assembly leadership tussle intensifies, the President, Bola Tinubu, will today meet lawmakers-elect of the National Assembly from opposition parties. Opposition senators-elect and House of Representative members-elect from the PDP, Labour Party and the New Nigeria People's Party, among other opposition parties, are expected to meet with President Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. Though the notice of invitation did not state the agenda of the meeting, it was gathered that the leadership of the 10th National Assembly would be discussed. Meanwhile, the 9th National Assembly, which was inaugurated on June 11, 2019, will wind down this week. The House of Representatives will hold its valedictory session on Tuesday, while the Senate will have its own on Wednesday. While the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, is expected to adjourn sitting at the Red Chamber indefinitely, the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, will close the Green Chamber on Thursday. Moving on. The police say they have arrested one suspect after gunmen abducted another man in Emoha local government area of Rivers State yesterday. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringekoko, told correspondent Emeka Otuka that the suspect is helping the police with their investigation. She said the Commissioner of Police, CP Emeka Onwonyi, has deployed tactical teams to the area to ensure the safe release of the victim. Meanwhile, the chairman of Emoha local government area, Chidi Lloyd, has named the kidnapped victim as Justice Azunda, a protocol officer to the immediate past chief of staff to the River State government, Emeka Woke. Dr. Lloyd said that one of the men declared wanted, Oniigwe Unwodi, and his gang invaded Isiodu community where Mr. Azunda and others were holding meetings and shot sporadically before his abduction. He called on members of Imovis to synergize with security agencies and ensure the unconditional release of Mr. Azunda.
In what I describe as a very sad incident this afternoon, Body and his gang invaded Ishudu community where Justice Azunda and some other persons were holding a meeting, and he shot sporadically into the meeting. And in the ensuing melee, Mr. Justice Azunda was abducted. Members of the Emoha vigilante, they have up and doing in recent times. They have been in the bush. I have charged them once again to ensure that Mr. Justice Azunda is released unscattered. Our initial warning to them yielded fruit. They have made a lot of discoveries. They are working. We are very impressed with their recent call to duty. So we have restored their salaries and
Dr. Lloyd also reviewed the bounty placed on Mr. Onwodi from 1 million naira to 2 million naira.
And I also want to use this opportunity to say that the ransom on Wadi has been increased from 1 million naira to 2 million naira on anybody who has any useful information on the whereabouts of Wadi. I want to enjoin everybody in the local government to cooperate with us to rest in the local government. What we should be talking about in Emoha now should be development. How do we develop how do we encourage investors to come into the SG? All hands must be on deck in order not to allow this miscreant and his misguided followers to tarnish the image of the local government the way he's doing.
The Emoha Council boss further announced the ban on movement of motorcycles in the local government area from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. starting from today.
I want to painfully announce the ban on the movement of motorcycles in the local government from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The ban will come in force from the 5th of June 2023. I know the hardship that this will cause on the people, but we have no option because we have noticed that Wadi and his gang operate using motorcycles for easy getaway. We want to plead with our people of Emoha local government to bear with us that desperate moments deserve desperate measures. As soon as the situation normalizes, we shall lift the ban on the movement of motorcycles.
Recall that the Emoha Council chairman had on May 15 declared Onwodi wanted with a bounty of 1 million naira for his involvement in criminal activities along the Emoha axis of the East-West Road. The River State Civil Society Organization, RIVSCO, has frowned at the continuous blockage of the GRA Water Lines junction leading to INEC office on Aba Road in Port Harcourt. Chairman of RIVSCO, NFR George Will, at a media chat called on CP Emeka Onwonyi to salvage the inconveniences suffered by road users by reopening the road to the public.
The River State Civil Society organizations call on the new Commissioner of Police River State to open the water lines GRA Junction section of Aba Road in order to end the accidents and inconvenience suffered by Rivers people as a result of the blocking of the said road. For us in RICSO, the reason for blocking the road is because of the 2023 general elections, which have been decided, and those who are not comfortable with its outcome are currently at the tribunals in Abuja. Whilst we commend the police and other security agencies for setting up structures to prevent the breakdown of law and order, it is our opinion that Rivers people have suffered enough merely because of simple elections.
Still ahead, stakeholders seek to beat plastic pollution as the world marks Environment Day. Stay tuned.
Congratulations to our distinguished service stars from Obiakpo.
emerged the vice chairman of PDP Governors Forum. Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, also emerged the chairman of the forum. They emerged on Saturday at a retreat for elected PDP officials at the Banquet Hall Government House in Bauchi State. Today is World Environment Day, and the chairman of the Nigerian Environment Society, NES, River State Chapter, Daminabo Amos, is calling on residents to help reduce plastic waste. Mr. Amos made the call during the Environmental Awareness Walk in Port Harcourt, organized on Saturday in collaboration with the Waste Management Society, River State Council, and some other corporate bodies as part of their 3-day activities to mark the day. He said the walk is aimed at curbing indiscriminate plastic waste disposal and promoting plastic recycling in Port Harcourt.
When it rains, the plastic move from where they are to the drainage, and from the drainage they go to the canal, from canal to the mini rivers, and all of it cause harm to the livestock in the marine world. It affects the fishes and the other livestock. We are coming out to say that let us all beat plastic in this year 2023. Let us reduce plastic waste. Let us see how we can move the society forward, showing an example to the people living around this side by picking all the plastic waste on the streets so that people will see that if members of the society can come out and do this cleanup, everybody can come out and clean their environment.
Our correspondent reports that the Environmental Awareness Walk, which kicked off from GRA Junction to Abali Park in Mount 1, saw scores of NES members and staff of different agencies pick up plastic on roadsides. A sensitization talk was later held at the park after the walk. The environment manager of the Nigerian Bottling Company, Port Harcourt, Obia Utum, and that of the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRA, Udoka Ezeudemba, and Total Energies, Obiora Okike, spoke to our correspondent.
It's not a one-man show. It's a collective effort, and that's why you are seeing different companies coming together, to work together or partner together with Nigerian Environmental Society to ensure that we create awareness, let people know the impact of the plastics, we are generating out of our activities, whether it's domestic activities or industrial activities, and also look for a way to, eliminate this.
Out of this waste you call a waste, there is always a wealth inside. You can still take this plastic and recycle it. Recycling means you can go and reproduce it and bring it back to another product.
As an organization, Total, we partner with UNITA to set up a plastic recycling plant. Some of the plastic bags that you see used in collecting the waste was a byproduct from that plant.
Some traders and taxi drivers at the Bali Park also spoke to our correspondent.
This sensitization, I'm seeing it for the first time, consigning this recycling. They should continue things like this so that people will have an idea of it. If they continue like this, people will imbibe the idea and they will go with them. It will help the society. It's a good one. I love the idea.
It will help us in River State because most of this nylon, bottled water and all the rest, it blocks the drainage. When it blocks the drainage, when we get to the rain season, it causes flood and it affects each and every one. I believe if everyone like me can take a correction to gather it and take it to somewhere, forget about the money. Less than 6 months, we have a very good improvement.
If I drink, I'm not going to throw them. I'm going to drop them. I pack them.
The issue of rubber, not too good. They pollute the other self, not they good. We will go deliver, we will tell some other of our people in the.
The NES activities to mark this year's World Environment Day started on Friday with a visit to some recycling plants in the state. The activities will wrap up today with the World Environment Day Summit. The theme for this year is Solution to Plastic Pollution. Health workers under the aegis of the Joint Health Workers Union, JOHESU, and the Assembly of Healthcare Professionals will today hold their National Executive Council meeting to decide on its ongoing strike. The meeting will afford the unions the opportunity to consider what the government is offering with the aim of either calling off the strike or continuing it with further negotiations.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Oil-producing countries have agreed to continue cuts in production in a bid to shore up flagging prices. Saudi Arabia said it would make cuts of 1 million barrels per day in July, and OPEC Plus said targets would drop by a further 1.4 million barrels per day from 2024.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard the federal government says it will set up a committee for TUC's demands over petrol subsidy removal. NLC boycotted Sunday's meeting as the union insisted on a strike this Wednesday. President Tinubu is to meet opposition lawmakers elect today. Police have arrested a suspect as gunmen abducted another man in Emoha local government area of Rivers State. Emoha Council boss has doubled the bounty on the wanted suspect and restricted motorcycles operations in the local government following fresh abduction. Stakeholders are seeking to beat plastic pollution as the world marks Environment Day. On the foreign scene, oil prices have risen as Saudi Arabia pledges output cuts. The news was edited by Choma Ezenwafo. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this morning. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Efiyemi Andrew. Good morning.